Folks, SC Closer here, coming at you with another episode of Southern Style, coming at you from Studio B. I believe this is episode 20. In today's episode, I'm going to do a little review of this guitar right here. This is a Fender Telecaster, and it is, I believe, they call this a 72 Custom P90. And I believe some people have said these are FSRs, Fender Special Reserve or whatever they are, or Special Reissue, Fender Special Reissue maybe. Anyway, I believe it was made in 2011. It says Special Edition on the back of it. And I was going to show this to you. When I got this in a trade, and I tried to look it up and didn't find a lot of information about it, particularly on YouTube. There was a few things about it, so I thought I would just do a quick little review of it and show it to you. But basically, you know, you got a telly, you got a bound body. Okay, so it's got binding all the way around on this body. Okay, and it's just top bound. All right, and then you have dual pickups in it. This is they're both P90 pickups. And then you have the Tele Custom style pickguard here that's got a hardtail saddle, and it's not the regular Tele bridge, you know, with the bridge plate and all in it. It's just a hardtail saddle. And you got the 4 controls down here like a Tele Custom or a Tele Deluxe would have this as well, I believe. I like these type controls because it's laid out like a Les Paul. And then you got your 3-position switch up here to select your pickups. You got the, down is a bridge, middle is both, and up all the way is your neck pickup. And that's exactly like on a Les Paul, which is why I like this. This one has a Rosewood Fretboard. It actually has the clay dot markers. I don't know if you can see those very well on the camera there, but they actually look like the little clay markers to me, which is nice. Anyway, then you got the little headstock up here, and it says Telecaster Custom on it. It has the bullet truss rod. I always thought those were really cool. I always thought the bullet truss rods looked pretty cool on these things. In case you don't know, that's the bullet truss rod right there, folks. Alright, and this one has the vintage style tuners. Some people like them, some people don't. I like the vintage style tuners. These are a little bit different than some of the ones you see. These are more like, I guess, the ones that they had in the 70s. You know, they got the little script F's on the back. Okay, so it's more like a 70s style versus supposed to be modeled after a 72. But these are the ones that have little holes in the centers. So you basically I usually pull my string out about this far past, cut it off, stick it down in there, and then spin it on there. And you don't have any sharp ends sticking out anywhere. You don't have to worry about that. I always thought that was kind of neat myself. And it got kind of a vintage tint on here. And this one is a 2011 model, and they're made in Mexico. And looks like to me, they got the little logo back there on there. I had my serial number from you, but you can see the little logo where it says it's a special edition. They have 3-bolt neck. So they got this 3-bolt type of jack plate here. And it does have right here, I don't know if you can see it, it's right down here. They got a place that's for a tilt. And when I was doing a setup on this myself, you can loosen these bolts up, and you stick an Allen wrench down in here, and you can turn that, and that make the neck tilt back. If you turn it right to drive it in some, it'll tilt the neck back some, and then if you back off the other way, the neck is straight, or it'll go back the other way. That's a neat little adjustment. You don't have to take it apart to shim it. And it's a string through. Okay. And it has a kind of a recessed jack here. I think it's pretty much like any Tele. Now, the interesting thing to note is the fretboard radius on these. I'm not real sure what this fretboard radius is, and I don't know if you could see it on here or not. I'll hold it up there. The guy I got it from said he told me he thought it was the 7 1/4 radius. I don't think it's really a 7 1/4. But it seems like there's more radius to it than a 9 1/2. And so I'm not real sure what the radius is on this. I do know that when you're bending the strings high up here, I had to set the high E and the B a little higher than I would like to keep them from choking out because they hit that radius. But like I said, I don't think that's a 7 1/4. Now I've had some Japanese reissues that were real nice, and I really liked them. And some of them I believe had an 8 1/2 or some odd radius to them. If any of you guys are Fender experts out there, you can probably correct me on that if I'm wrong. But I do believe some of those had a little different radius on them, and I'm not so sure that this one doesn't have something that's in between 7 1/4 and 9 1/2. I could be wrong about that. I'm not a Fender expert. I'm more of a Gibson guy. So, but anyway, I do like Telecasters. So that's the interesting thing with the radius. Now, fit and finish. It looks good. Like I said, it's a 2011, so it's not new. But this binding is really nice on here. It's real smooth, and basically it's flush all the way around. It's done up real nice. You got looks like a very tight fit of the neck there. I think when I was loosening it up, I did have the neck off one time. It kind of made a little pop sound when it came out. It was kind of stuck in there, so it's a good tight fit. It's got a kind of a high gloss on the back of the neck. Now some people like that, some people don't, but it is slick, so it's not sticky. I haven't found it to be sticky yet. And of course the finish on this thing is just gorgeous anyway. I mean, look at that. I mean, who doesn't like black? Who doesn't like black? That's rock and roll, right? Black's rock and roll. But it's got a nice fretboard, I think. It's a good looking piece of rosewood, and like I said, it's got the little tint and everything up there. So I think overall it looks really good. And said the hardware and all seems to be nice on it. The switch seems to be decent. I don't really have any real criticisms of it. Some people aren't big fans of those style of tuners, but it is a reissue, so I'm sure that's why they put them on there. So one big thing to look for on Fenders, in my opinion, is the fret ends, whether they're smooth or not. And believe it or not, I found some of these Squire Classic Vibes and some of the Chinese player model Fenders actually have better, smoother fret ends than the American standards do. I know it's hard to believe. I couldn't believe it myself, but I would say this is as good or better than most of the Mexicans. Most of the Mexican models are pretty decent. They're very similar, I think, in how they finish off the fret ends and stuff as the American ones. I don't really see much difference in those. Could it be a little smoother? Yeah. Is it bad? No. So, and I guess that's most of the highlights there. I guess you guys might want to hear what it sounds like. I'm going to be running it through the JCM 800. The last review I did of the little Squire Telly, I did through the same amplifier, so kind of give you a little bit of an idea here. As you just saw, I just knocked the string right off the edge of that fretboard. That's your bridge pickup. Alright, and this would be middle position with both pickups. That's two pickup position. And this will be your neck. That's your neck position. Anyway, this is a pretty good little guitar. Plays nice, has a pretty good feel to it. This guitar is very light, folks. Very light. I don't know if they're all like this, but if you like a light guitar, this thing's light. I don't know what they make this body out of, but it's pretty light. And light's always good in my book. Let's play along with it a little bit more. Alright folks, there's your little Telecaster here. Just trying to think of something, if there's anything about it I ain't too crazy about. The major drawback I see in this is what I see in a lot of guitars. When I back down the volume to clean it up, you notice it's losing some highs. I got the volume all the way up right here. And I'm going to back it down just a notch. And I'm losing some of my highs. It's not that bad. But it's there. So what I would probably do with this guitar, if I ever decide to use it live, I'll probably rewire these pots so that that doesn't happen. So you can really notice it on this. I've lost a lot of highs. That's all the way up. That's not even halfway down on the volume. Yeah, It's just rolling off a little too much off the top end for my taste. And these are your tone controls. They work pretty good. This is all the way rolled off. It's all the way back on. And we'll try it on the neck. It's all the way down. And it's supposed to be your woman tone. It's a little muffly to me. But this has a, you know, having these P90s, it should be fairly bright. But anyway, it's not a bad little guitar, folks. If you get a chance to pick these up, I think it's kind of neat. If you like P90s, P90s are always cool to have. And in my opinion, you know, I like a Telecaster pretty well, though I don't play one that well. But I like them pretty well. And this particular one I like because it has the Les Paul style layout on the controls. It's almost like blending the best of both worlds together in P90 format. And some Les Pauls have P90s. But anyway, and it's light. A good looking guitar, it's light, and it don't sound too bad. What more can you ask for? Alright, well anyway, that's a quick little review of the Tele. You got any questions, let me know. You got any guitars you want to see, let me know. Maybe I can get a hold of them and show them to you. Alright, this is SC Closer, I'm out.